In this video, we are going to discuss about the endocrine glands. What are the endocrine glands? Endo means within, crine means secretion. The things what they are secreting will be remain inside the body. These are the ductless glands. In our body, we have two types of glands. Duct gland, which is also known as exocrine gland, ductless gland, which is also known as endocrine gland. If these glands do not have duct, how they send their secretion to the target cells? They send their secretion through blood vessels. So these glands pour their secretion directly into the blood. Anyhow, blood is reaching or circulating in the whole body. It also reaches to the target organs. Target organs have receptor for this, and this secretion is known as hormones. But in exocrine gland, secretion move outside the body. For example, salivary gland and sweat gland. As hormones remain inside our body, they won't come outside. So these glands are known as glands of internal secretion. Let us discuss the definition of hormones. Hormones are non-nutrient chemicals which act as intracellular messengers and produce in trace amount. Here non-nutrient means you cannot metabolize them. Hormones are also known as primary messengers because they are the one which are taking information from cells of endocrine gland and giving it to the target cell. Let us discuss about the glands. We have three glands in our brain. First one hypothalamus, second one pituitary, and third one pineal gland. Because they are the part of brain and brain is part of nervous system, all these three glands are ectodermal in origin. And in the neck region, we have two glands. One is thyroid and another one is parathyroid. And near the heart, we have thymus and we have pancreas in abdominal area and adrenal glands present above the kidney. In females, we have ovaries in lower abdomen, and in males, we are going to find testes outside the abdominal cavity. Just like neural control and coordination by nervous tissue, chemical control and coordination is also helps to regulate the body function. Let's start with introduction. The neural system and endocrine system jointly coordinate and regulate the physiological functions in the body. Let us see how they control and regulate the same function differently. Nervous system also has chemicals in the form of neurotransmitters, and these chemicals are made up of peptides. And in the endocrine system, these chemicals are known as hormones. The neurotransmitter can stimulate the neuron and impact the gland, but hormones work on complete body. In neurotransmitter, site of action is very near. Imagine this is the neuron, and near to this neuron, another neuron is present. The synaptic vesicle of first neuron releases neurotransmitter in the form of signal on the axons of the another neuron. But in endocrine gland or in endocrine hormones, site of action is far away, and in neurotransmitter, action is very rapid. But in the endocrine hormones, action is very slow as it depends upon the blood, and blood circulation is a slow process. Let us discuss about the hypothalamus. It forms the basal part of diencephalon since it is ectodermal in origin and it is connection between the nervous system and endocrine system. Hypothalamus and pituitary glands, these both are connected to each other by infundibulum. Pituitary has two portions, anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary is also known as adenohypophysis and posterior pituitary is also known as neurohypophysis. Because hypothalamus is part of nervous system, it has lot of neuron also. But some neuron have been modified and started secreting something. So these are known as neurosecretory cells. The endocrine portion of hypothalamus has neurosecretory cells, and these neurosecretory cells secrete hormones. There are certain neurosecretory cells which are shorter in size and some are longer in size. Those which are longer in size, their axonal end is basically present in pituitary. The collection of cytone known as nuclei, which is present in the hypothalamus and secretes the hormones, they travel through the axon and get stored in the posterior pituitary. Means the hormones which are get secreted in the hypothalamus get stored in the posterior pituitary. And second type of hormones are those which are secreted by the hypothalamus and remain in the hypothalamus, but they will control the anterior pituitary. Suppose imagine if anterior pituitary is connected to hypothalamus via some blood vessels and that forms your hypophyseal cortex system. As I told, this anterior pituitary is releasing two types of hormones, inhibiting and releasing hormone. Suppose anterior pituitary is secreting growth hormone, but its secretion is controlled by hypothalamus, and the nuclei which secretes oxytocin is proventricular nuclei, and nuclei which secretes ADH is supraoptic. Here is the list of releasing or inhibiting hormones of hypothalamus, how they control and release the anterior pituitary hormones. Suppose hypothalamus is secreting TRH. This TRH goes to anterior pituitary and asks anterior pituitary to release TSH. If hypothalamus secretes GHRH, it asks anterior pituitary to release growth hormone. Suppose if hypothalamus is secreting GHIH, it asks anterior pituitary to stop the releasing of growth hormone. If hypothalamus is secreting PRH, then it asks anterior pituitary to secrete prolactin. If hypothalamus is secreting PIH, it asks anterior pituitary to inhibit prolactin hormone. If hypothalamus is secreting adrenocorticotropic hormone releasing hormone, it asks pituitary to release adrenocorticotropic hormone. If hypothalamus is secreting MRH, it asks pituitary to release MSH, that is melanocyte stimulating hormone. If hypothalamus is secreting MIH, it asks pituitary to secrete melanocyte inhibiting hormone. If hypothalamus secretes GnRH hormone, it asks pituitary to secrete LH and FSH, which are collectively known as gonadotrophin. Let us discuss about the pituitary gland. Another name of pituitary gland is hypophysis. It is present in cellulosica, that is small depression present in sphenoid bone in our skull. It is ectodermal in origin. Not entire pituitary is responsible for hormone production, but there are certain cells in areas of pituitary which secretes the hormones. The areas are known as pars distalis and pars intermedia and pars nervosa. This pars nervosa stores the hormone oxytocin and ADH, whereas pars distalis secretes all the hormones of anterior pituitary like ACTH, growth hormone, and prolactin etc. Pars intermedia fuses with the pars distalis and it secretes the hormone MSH, that is melanocytes stimulating hormone. And these melanocyte cells release melanin, which gives color to our skin. If a person have more melanin, the color of the person is darker. If less melanin, then the person will be white. Let us discuss about the hormones of posterior pituitary or neurohypophysis. This posterior pituitary does not have its own hormone. It just stores the hormones of hypothalamus, that is oxytocin and ADH. ADH is also known as vasopressin. It prevents water loss or diuresis, that is the formation of dilute urine. It goes to the different part of the tubules and asks these tubules to reabsorb the lot of water. Next, oxytocin. Oxytocin is also known as milk ejecting hormone and it is also known as birth hormone. We know that mammary glands produce milk and milk is produced under the influence of prolactin. But the milk gets released from mammary gland with the help of hormone oxytocin. It is also known as milk letdown and it causes contraction of uterus during childbirth. Now coming to the hormones of anterior pituitary, first one is the growth hormone. This is a hormone which has target cells, means receptors, and entire body, means it can bind to every cell of our body. Its function is to cause growth and increase blood sugar level, and it inhibits the liver to not to take the glucose, so that glucose will go to the entire body, and this increase in blood sugar level, and the process is known as diabetogenic effect. Disorders of growth hormone. First one is the gigantism. It is due to oversecretion of growth hormone before puberty. The height may increase up to 7 to 8 feet. Second one is the dwarfism. It is due to the undersecretion of growth hormone before puberty. The person's height can be short. Acromegaly. It is due to oversecretion of growth hormone after puberty. And sometimes size of the internal organs also increases. It may lead to lot of diseases. For example, It may increase the size of heart, reducing its pumping activity. Hence, person may die due to the cardiac arrest. It can be fatal if not detected. Now, second hormone is the prolactin hormone. It leads to the growth of mammary gland and formation of milk. Third one is the TSH. It makes thyroid gland to release thyroid hormone. Fourth one is the ACTH. It secretes and synthesizes steroid hormone. These are the hormones from adrenal gland, particularly from adrenal cortex. Fifth one is the luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. Luteinizing hormone helps in rupture of mature follicle. The process is known as ovulation. Luteinizing hormone in males goes to the Leydig cells of testes and bind with these cells and leads to the formation of androgen. Now, what is the function of FSH? In male, it helps in spermatogenesis. In female, it helps in growth of ovarian follicles. Let us discuss about the pineal gland. It is the size of the pine cone. It is present dorsal side of the forebrain. It secretes the hormone melatonin. This hormone is made up of amino acids. Melatonin plays a very important role in regulation of 24 hours diurnal rhythm of our body. For example, maintaining the normal rhythm of sleep-wake cycle and body temperature. In addition, melatonin also influences metabolism, pigmentation, menstrual cycle, as well as our defense capability. If there is more melatonin in your body, you will sleep. If there is less melatonin, you will not sleep. Thyroid gland. It is the largest endocrine gland. It is present around trachea, that is, around our windpipe. It is in H shape or butterfly shape. It has two lobes, which is connected by isthmus. The dorsal side of the thyroid gland consists of four parathyroid glands. They are not at all connected to thyroid gland. They are just lying about it. They are just lying about it. If we observe the internal structure of thyroid gland, we are going to observe follicles. Inside the follicles, we have follicular cells. And inside the follicular cells, we have colloidal solution. This follicular cell secretes the hormone known as T3 and T4. T3 is triiodothyronine and T4 is tetraiodothyronine. T4 is also known as thyroxine. Because T4 is high in amount in blood, they are iodinated hormone. They have high iodine. In the follicles colloid, T3 and T4 are present. This iodine helps in the movement of hormone across the cells. Suppose we have hormone which is not having any iodine in that follicle, or suppose imagine this is T4 and T4 has 4 iodine. With the help of iodine, this T4 easily move across the cell. Imagine if T4 does not have iodine, it is unable to move. In between the follicles of thyroid gland, some cells are present. These cells are known as parafollicular cells, and it is also known as C cells. And these cells secrete calcitonin or thyrocalcitonin. This hormone has very important role in calcium regulation. It reduces blood calcium and phosphate level. That's why it is known as hypocalcemic or hypophosphatemic hormone. Let us discuss the function of thyroxine. Thyroid hormone play an important role in regulation of basal metabolic rate. These hormones also support the red blood cells formation. Thyroid hormone controls the metabolism of carbohydrate, protein and fats, and it also maintains the water and electrolyte balance. Disorder of thyroid gland, that is thyroxine. We have hyperthyroidism as well as hypothyroidism. Hyperthyroidism means when the thyroid is higher amount in secretion or when thyroxine is higher in blood. It may cause cancer of thyroid gland, exothalamic goiter, and hypothyroidism is due to lower production of thyroxine. It may lead to simple goiter, myxedema, and cretinism. Simple goiter occurs due to the deficiency of iodine, that is, in the colloid, we are not going to find any iodine for the formation of thyroxine, and there will be just amino acid. And this amino acid will keep on accumulating. As we know that thyroxine is made up of iodine plus amino acids. And this thyroxine is very important in tissue differentiation. If there is less thyroxine or low level of thyroxine in the blood, then development will not be proper. Next we have the myxedema. It is also the case of low level of thyroidism observed only in adults. It is swollen body in females, that is edema. Now third one is the cretinism. It is observed in children, that is abnormal body and abnormal brain development, and children will be having low IQ. Now let us discuss about the hypersecretion, that is exothalamic goiter. It is an autoimmune disorder. In this disorder, there is more level of thyroxine in the body. Person is thinner, remain confused. Sometimes get trauma and sweating always. In autoimmune disorder, antibodies are formed which attaches to our follicular cells and it results in bulging eyes is one of the symptom of exothalamic goiter. Let us discuss about the parathyroid gland. It is yellow in color. It has four lobes. It is present on thyroid gland. It secretes parathyroid hormone or it is also known as parathormone. It works just opposite to the calcitonin. It increases the blood calcium and phosphate. So it is also known as hypercalcemic hormone. Let us understand how it works. Suppose imagine a person has high blood calcium. This one stimulates the parafollicular cells of parathyroid gland to secrete the hormone calcitonin. It causes mineralization of bones. That is, if calcium level increases in the blood, this hormone gives calcium to the bones. If there is decrease in blood calcium level, then parathyroid hormone causes demineralization of bone. It will take calcium away from the bone and send it to the blood. It will increase the activation of vitamin D. If there is more vitamin D, it causes absorption of more calcium from your gut by doing reabsorption of calcium from nephron and from filtrate to increase the blood calcium level. This process is known as calcium hemostasis. Let us discuss about the thymus gland. It is very little gland located between the lungs behind the sternum on ventral side of aorta. It secretes the hormone known as thymosin. Thymus gland is a primary lymphoid organ. It is also known as school or crown of immunity. In the thymus gland, there are two types of cells. One is T cell and another one is B cell. This thymus gland binds to T cell as well as with B cell and it causes T cell differentiation and maturation. For example, this gland gives training to T cell to how to identify this enemy or antigen. Thymus gland also order B cell to get differentiate and divide. When B cell get divide, it will form two types of cells. One is plasma cell and another one is B cell. These plasma cells produce antibodies and antibodies will kill pathogen. So B cells are responsible for killing the pathogen not directly but by producing antibodies. It is known as humoral immunity. And T cell directly kill the pathogen which is known as cell mediated immunity. Coming to thymus gland, it is highly developed but less developed in newborn and becomes weak in old age. That's why older people have less immunity. In old age people, it will form some sand-like structure. Next we have adrenal gland. That means above, renal means kidney. That is, it present above the kidneys and it is also known as suprarenal gland. It is also known as gland of emergency. So this gland has two areas. Two parts. Inner one is called medulla and outer one is called cortex. Medulla is around 75% whereas cortex is around 25%. Medulla is ectodermal in origin and cortex is mesodermal in origin. Adrenal cortex. Adrenal gland has three layers. Outer gland is zona glomerulosa. Below that we have zona fasciculata and below that we have very thin layer that is known as zona reticularis. Hormones of cortex are known as corticoids and they are steroid in nature, whereas hormones of adrenal medulla is amino acids derivatives. Zona glomerulosa secretes mineralocorticoids, for example, aldosterone. This aldosterone goes to the renal tubule and help in reabsorption of sodium ions and water and leads to the secretion of potassium ions and phosphate ions in renal tubules. Zona reticularis secretes sex corticoid or corticoid, for example, androgen. Function of this androgen is to control the secondary sexual character and control hair on the body. Zona fasciculata secretes glucocorticoid. Example is cortisol. Function of glucocorticoid. It helps in gluconeogenesis, that is formation of glucose from fat, protein and lactic acid by lipolysis and proteolysis. And this leads to increase in blood sugar level. And it inhibits cellular uptake and utilization of amino acids because they want the amino acids should be converted into glucose. Now, what is the particular function of cortisol? It controls cardiovascular and kidney functions. If we have higher amount of cortisol, it may affect heart as well as kidney. And it is anti-inflammatory and immunosuppressant, means suppress any type of inflammation in the body. It reduces immune response. This one is also given during kidney transplant. Because when we are transplanting kidney, there are chances are there it got rejected by the recipient immune system. It also helps in erythropoiesis, that is formation of red blood cells. Let us talk about adrenal medulla. Adrenal medulla is known as gland of emergency because it secretes emergency hormones, that is epinephrine and non-epinephrine. These are the tyrosine derivatives. They are not secreted during normal conditions, but during the flight or fight response. When you are in fear, you saw any snake, whether to fight with a snake or run from the snake is decided by these two hormones. These two hormones are also known as catecholamine because they are made up of amino acids. Suppose imagine this is your adrenal gland and this is your hypothalamus. Medulla is under the control of hypothalamus. Now hypothalamus will judge the situation and it will send the impulse to the medulla and medulla will secrete hormones. These hormones increase alertness, pupillary dilation, piloerection, sweating, etc. Both the hormones increase the heartbeat. Catecholamine also stimulates the breakdown of glycogen, resulting in an increased concentration of glucose in blood. In addition, they also stimulates the breakdown of lipid and proteins disorders of adrenal gland. First one is the Addison's disease. In this disease, the adrenal cortex got destroyed and person may got TB, and this lead to decrease in mineralocorticoid and glucocorticoid. If these minerals decreases, there will be more potassium ion in blood. The skin will bronze like bronze pigmentation. Brown color patches appear on the skin and person is having more potassium and more toxicity and person is not able to walk properly. Second one is the Cushing syndrome. Here level of glucocorticoid increase, there will be more blood sugar level and low immune response. Let us discuss about the pancreas. Pancreas is the part of digestive system as well as endocrine gland. It is a heterocrine gland or composite gland. The gland which has two portions, in which one portion is with the duct and another one is without the duct. Ductless portion is known as endocrine portion and exocrine portion has ducts. And exocrine portion name is acini, which is 99% of pancreas. And endocrine gland is only 1%. It is islet of Langerhans. In that 1% only, it has 1 to 2 million cells. If you take section of pancreas, you are going to observe these structures. These are acini. They are many in number and in between them, they have islet of Langerhans. That is collection of different types of cells. Alpha cells. These alpha cells secretes the hormone. Name of the hormone is glucagon. Means alpha cell secretes glucagon hormone. Glucagon increase blood sugar level. That's why it is hyperglycemic.